Okay, so Boston busts out the KY.
So what happens is, before the KY,
Yeah.
the Chinese make another offer.
Yeah.
Tell you what we're going to do.
2015?
I don't know when they make this other offer.
At some point.
But they've got the contract.
Gotcha.
Right, everyone's
They've collected all the
excited.
money. They haven't fulfilled the order.
They collected a great deal of the money.
Gotcha.
Right? So they got paid. In fact, they collected their profit.
Jesus.
Now it's all...
They've delivered nothing.
They've delivered nothing. And so now every car they ship, they lose money on.
Who's they?
China.
Why?
Because they got paid, in effect, the profit up front. And the cars are costing way more.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they fucking undercut the shit.
Right. They bought the business. Now, initially, Massachusetts is happy. Philadelphia places an order, the same factory. Philadelphia, in the last year and a half, canceled the order because the Chinese hadn't delivered cars zero. And now Philadelphia is trying to get its advance back, its deposit. It turns out China is incompetent, and the consulting engineers who went over are not manufacturing engineers, in my experience and opinion. They really don't know how to evaluate a factory and an enterprise.
Yeah, clearly, if they can't fulfill an order for what they said.
I get hired by banks and leasing companies to evaluate that because I'm good at it. I'm not that good at it. I'm just not nearly as bad as they are. And when you have real money here, and in this case, you have the economy of the Massachusetts Bay at stake with this order, you don't want a bunch of yes men, and it's my unsubstantiated opinion that they said yes because they wanted to keep the governor politically happy by having a ribbon cutting in central Massachusetts. And so that became paramount. We need the ribbon cutting. Screw the riders. Screw the property owners. Screw the region. Screw the environment. And that crude remark about the KY jelly, I believe, was similar because Boston could have done what Philadelphia did. After Boston awarded the order, there was one batch of Red Line cars, the number 3s, that were just middle age. But Boston said, we'll scrap them anyway, and we'll spend another $250 million replacing them because they will do miracles. I've read the miracle report. I would like to speak with its author because I think there's some technical problems with it. So Boston then bet everything. It bet its reserves. The type 3s, or the number 3 Red Lines. Part of that $250 million in extra money includes all the late delivery penalties, which were waived. Some of the warranty, also the contract has small provisions so that if the contractor folds, there's a surety bond, which would permit Boston to start over again. So, okay, it's a performance bond. Boston waived that. It waived all its protections. That's why the remark about there isn't enough KY jelly for that kind of fucking. And that has been characteristic of almost every order I've seen Boston place. It never learns. It did not say to itself, we've been having a lot of problems. We tried to buy locomotives that should take 3 years and it took 11. We ordered Green Line cars from Breda and we paid them up front and they never finished
What's
the
with
order.
the paying up front? I guess they gotta collect the parts. Okay.
Right. And
I gotcha.
It's okay. So,
Damn.
but
hurts.
there's
That
counters.
hurts.
What happens is when you pay up front, if you are Chicago's Metro, you pay up front, but you demand an irrevocable letter of credit to get your money back if things go south.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
I'll give you all the cash. I want a letter from the bank that says I can get it back without any argument.
Right.
Boston doesn't have that.
Jesus.
It had something vaguely resembling it and canceled it when it was groveling before China.
Jesus Christ.
Right. Because the Chinese said, not only won't you get your cars, we'll have to close the factory. Because we lost the Philadelphia order, and we never made any Philadelphia cars anyway.
Is Philadelphia fucked in the same way right now?
No.
Okay.
Philadelphia has to get the money back. I don't know what their sureties are.
Yeah.
And it needed the cars.
Do they have good trains there or no?
Had. I can't be objective because I put them
Don't
into
be.
service. Philadelphia had a very good maintenance regime, very different from the T's.
Yeah.
But like the T, it placed orders for local assembly with Hyundai Rotem, the Silverliner 5s. That order took forever. Then it did the same thing with the Chinese. They go for low bid, okay, without a due diligence, real due diligence, let's look into this guy.
Yeah.
That's why, at the least, before shooting my mouth out, I spent an hour digging through my files, reading old contracts,
Yeah.
okay? That's why I suggest that you get my CV. You know, did I work at the places I said I worked at? Or did I just make them up? So yeah, Boston is so smug about its intellectual superiority, it can't accept that Salt Lake City and a bunch of Mormons can buy stuff and they can't.
Yeah.
All right, it's like, well, Boston will never get its head out of its ass because it's so warm and comfortable for Boston. Okay, we don't have enough money. You just pissed away $500 million. You could chrome plate all the buses.
Right.
But we're underfunded. Well, of course you are. They've sold so many hundreds of millions of dollars of bonds that they can't make their interest payments.
Jesus.
And what they do is they're pigs on these projects, like this project. It's 500 and whatever it was. Here was the great thing, okay? There were a lot of options. Boston said, quote me these extras. What the Chinese did was they quoted the budget. They said, we can give you all the stuff, build the factory, and give you all the extras for your original, how much money you thought it would cost in the first place.
Yeah, they promised the moon.
Right. I mean, what do you want? There wasn't any healthy skepticism.
Yeah.
And all these consulting firms, and I'm a consultant, signed on. I work for some of them.
Were you ripshit?
Me? was delighted. I had the somewhat sadistic attitude of a foreman who's watching management blow its brains out. And I have no sympathy for the Boston writer. You know, you got the government. You keep electing people, and you keep rejecting the need for a stable, well-paid, in-house staff. Your business schools teach you to outsource everything. The theory of comparative advantage. Our core business is not specifying and choosing transit vehicles. It's not. It's like United Airlines saying, well, we don't really know much about how to buy planes, and that's not our core business. It isn't getting the right plane for the right route, for the right price. Now I could go on and on and on with Boston stories. No, I'm just delighted. There is something untoward. A few years ago, I had to go inspect a bunch of locomotives for a potential leasing companies. They were ones I used to maintain at Amtrak and put into storage. So anyway, so I write travel letters when I was overseas. So I wrote this one. And I concluded by saying, Boston's safety systems don't work. The Red Line has had a whole bunch of near misses, including when I worked there. And the Special Investigating Committee's safety, I think I have the report if you want to look it up. It is, when is it? The safety panel in 2019, December 9th, 2019, the safety review panel. Okay. For all of Boston's social and political self-righteousness, read the executive summary. You're a bunch of murderers. And then I think it was, I don't know, it was Taylor Dolvin of the Globe called me. And I didn't want to, I don't think, I should have said it then, I didn't.
Should have said what?
That I had written a letter that their safety systems didn't work, safety exits. You know, I was just using an example, writing to my friends of, man, I'm glad I'm not in this business anymore.
When did you retire?
Gradually, I don't know if I'm retired or just got old and ignored, but other than small jobs, the last major job I was called on was 2024.
Okay.
2023, Poland and Ukraine.
Whoa.
I spent 4 months in Afghanistan.
Oh, fuck.
So I have a global perspective.
Right. Yeah, you're a specialist.
And well, it's not like being a proctologist for dinosaurs. And how long has your traction motor felt like this? I'll just feel that commutator. Wait,
I'm stuck on something that I want.
Well, let me just finish this.
Okay, go.
Okay. So sure enough, the Red Line, one of these ancient cars, is miswired.
Oh, fuck.
And they drag a guy to his death. I mean, when the New York subways are closed.
What do you mean?
Well, his arm gets caught in the door.
Oh, fuck.
And that's supposed to shut off the motors and apply the brakes.
When was this?
If the motors are
I'm
applied...
surprised I don't remember this or didn't hear about this.
So he's dragged down the platform screaming until it's called a paint job in the Transit Authority in New York, where you paint the subway tunnel wall.
Is it really actually called
Yes,
it?
It was called a paint job when I worked for Bombardier on the New York contract.
That's fucking dark.
It is dark, but you don't want to be, remember, people would jump in front of trains or when I worked for Amtrak. Amtrak, we hit,
No, I'm not saying we shouldn't explore it and
My-
talk about it. I'm just saying that's dark.
my employees had to clean them off the trains.
Yeah.
I don't feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for the not at the T, but if you're a subway motorman at the T and someone hops in front of you, tries to commit suicide, I feel sorry for the motorman and the crew.
Okay.
You know, they can't do anything about it.
Okay.
Or the
You don't feel sorry about the paint job?
well, I do.
Okay.
I do. You're supposed to count on existing safety circuits
Yeah.
to work.
Yeah.
You're supposed to count on being able to open the window, the exit windows.
Yeah.
You're
The fuck?
supposed to count on that.
Yeah.
You're supposed to count on previous accident, on the inspector who's supposed to do this every 8 or 10,000 miles, among other things, on the 4 axles. Take 2 screws out, lift the cover off, and see if the axle ground brush has worn down too far, and replace it if it has. And
Due
it gone
diligence.
on. I just, it's like changing the oil filter.
When was this red line death? Wait, do you know what year?
Yeah, it was it's in the last 3 or 4 years.
Jesus Christ.
And when the axle,
Do you know
The
where it
actual
was on the
working-
red line?
no.
Okay.
And in this case, they just never bothered to change the part when it wore down.
It was
And it burned through these.
avoidable.
This is like never changing the tire.
Yeah.
And then the axle split, the axle burned through.
Yeah.
And the T hit it. I mean, well, we have to do a big investigation. No, you don't. It's obvious what happened. Where, if you know where the axle burned through. Oh, it's at the axle ground brush. So, in a larger sense, the institutions that dominate Boston and the Route 128 community have got what they asked for. They voted for in election after election, and WGBH, NPR, and the Boston Globe are always whining about not enough funding. Well, look, on this contract, the T allocated more than 10% of the total budget to itself. All right. Well, we have to administer it. Okay, that's so many millions. But we have to cover our overhead. And we have to have other people do what? $40 million in force account work? No, that's just to cover your operating expenses, which you're going to capital. It's an accounting maneuver. I know the Globe reporter asked, I suggested she ask, how much more was the consulting engineer's contract increased since the contract's taking 3 times as long? Originally, they were going to get paid $17 million. I'll bet it's between 30 and 40 million. The more they fuck up and the longer it takes, the more money LTK Hatch makes. They found a home, as they did on previous T contracts. It's structured to incentivize failure. And the T and its board and its political sponsors, not the small communities and towns, but its senior sponsors at the governor's level and the mayor of Boston's level and its congressional delegation, has never said, what is as it were, it's epistemology, it's foundations. Something is very, very wrong with how we're doing things. Why do we keep failing so horribly? And its answer is, we need more money to make the same mistakes we made in the past. And then we'll blame it on the unions. So, I'm retired. I live in a lovely village, Stonington Borough, in Connecticut.
Yeah.
I live under a rock.
Yeah.
And tomorrow I'll ride the Brightliner. I did a technical consulting job on that when it was being designed, and so
Yeah.
I'll go ride on my train.
Yeah.
And fuck them if they can't take a joke.
Who can't take a joke? Who's
Eastern
the
Massachusetts?
What's the joke?
The
I don't hear
joke
any
is,
jokes.
I've tried to be humorous about it.
Oh, it didn't sound like a joke to me.
I am
It
bitter.
sounds like you're angry.
I am angry.
And
I am
I'm
bitter, and I'm mostly angry with myself.
Hmm.
I ought to have left when I had the chance. I ought to have managed my career better. I should not have made the personal and family sacrifices and commitments that I did. It was a mistake. And eventually I did go for overseas non-US transit work.
Hmm.
And it was a whole lot better.
Yeah.
A whole lot better.
Yeah.
Germany does not have a culture of failure.
Right.
All right. The Ukrainians now don't.
Right.
So I'm working for investors. The T wonders why it can't get American transit systems, because they argue with you about the beer you had from room service. They'll have I don't know what KPMG's new name is, but they'll spend $200 in consulting fees over a $2.50 beer. And the reason I'm eating in my room is I'm working without getting paid on their project as a subcontractor.
Yeah.
Right? And that kind of stunted. But, you know, I'd argue about the other guy's beer if I'm charging $3.75 an hour to argue.
Yeah.
So I'm mostly bitter at myself. I'm going to have to confront the decisions I made. Eventually, I did. But I left town. Phone rang. 1994. I was an offer to do a consulting job in Chile for some investors. And I said to myself, I think the world's going to go global. I better start that. And that's it. I don't belong in the U.S. transit industry. I'm not right for it. I don't think the right way to be successful in it. Time for me to get out of Dodge.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now I'm going to go get a bourbon Manhattan.
Yeah.
You're welcome to join me.
Thanks, man. I will.
All right.
So we can just stop. And also,
Yep.
I have a question if you're up
Yes.
for a little longer. But if you want to just stop,
Okay.
we can just stop.
Go ahead. We're here.
Okay. So my question, and it comes from a personal place, you know, questions about my own life and the things that I've seen in the fields that I've been in. And the question is, it seems like, you know, when I met you today, and even in moments of this talk, I can really feel your love and admiration for trains. I can feel it somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And my question for you is, I mean, I can ask a lot of questions about this, but it seems like somewhere, you're a kid who gets kind of swept away by the adventure of jumping on the trains at 16 years old, mid 1960s America, and have these wonderful experiences. And that somehow morphed into, feelings of heartbreak and anger.
At the transit end.
Sure.
U.S.
Decades of things compiling on themselves. And now that you're, what's 76? How old are you?
77.
77. Now that you're 77, and I've already kind of heard about, how you're getting on a train tomorrow, which I think is pretty cool. Like, is there a part of you that can and does, are you getting back to the joy?
No.
Okay.
No. I live by, that's not why we bought the house. I actually should have noticed it more distinctly. I live by the Northeast Corridor main line.
Uh-huh.
About 100 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to live near the water, then between you and the water is the railroad.
Yeah.
And I watch Amtrak's failures go by, the new Acellas. I got the Acellas to work.
Yeah.
This is another project that has taken twice as long.
Yeah.
They don't quite work that well. They don't fulfill their promise. They probably shouldn't have been bought in the first place. I see other things. Amtrak's track department is still great. The crews are, Amtrak does a good job with the courtesy of its crews and the tech used in ticket collection and the like.
Mm.
But the rolling stock, it's a difficult business.
Yeah.
And the people who buy it, so I see it go by.
Yeah.
I see the tops from my offices. And I happen to live by the few grade crossings, so you hear that long, lonesome train whistle in the night.
Yeah.
I made a mistake, a big mistake. It should have been a hobby, not a career. The passenger and transit end. I should have stayed at Conrail, not become chief mechanical officer. How was I? How old was I? 32 or something. It was a job for a guy who was 52. I don't have a pension. I don't have a gold pass.
Yeah.
I live well.
Yeah.
And I have the love of a really good woman now.
Woman now? Different woman than the
Different
mother?
woman.
Gotcha.
And really supportive.
Good.
Smarter than I am too. I'm not a real railroader. Given a choice on any Saturday night, I would rather get laid than clear a derailment.
I think most men would rather get laid than do anything.
Not if they're railroaders. These people are strange.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, okay, so I'm at the Southern Pacific, and you'd put 2 years in this downtown San Francisco in this wonderful little staff group. And then you'd go out for your operating job. Well, they just abused all the guys they sent out there, had them work investment banker hours and, 90 hours a week. And I wasn't interested in all that. I gravitated towards projects involving the rolling stock guys, locomotives and freight cars. So W.O. Brown, railroad only used initials. I'm J.H. Klein, okay, D.L. Gunn. President of the United States for telegrapher was P.O.T.U.S. That's where it comes from.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
No shit.
No shit. And he says, boy, okay, he was from the Southern Pacific, went to Louisiana, Texas. Boy, we like you. We're going to give you a job when you get done in the BTR with in a very big shop.
Yeah.
Now, they could have sent me to small engine houses in San Diego, San Luis Obispo, big shops in Eugene, Oregon, near Reno. The biggest shops were in Sacramento. Or they could have kept me in, sent me down to South San Francisco or West Oakland. There's lots of places. The big locomotive shop in Houston. The little one in New Orleans. Well, they were going to send me to their very best shop. And he was serious, and it was. The Cotton Belt shops in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. I'm a New York Jew. All right? Did you know there is no gravity in Pine Bluff? It just sucks. I never got to Pine Bluff. I went back east.
So sub question, and then let's go get it. What was it? The drink you wanted, Manhattan.
Bourbon Manhattan.
Well, then we'll go get a bourbon Manhattan. Sub question to my previous one. Do you feel, or did you feel when you went to places like Afghanistan, Chile, Ukraine?
Paris?
Did you feel a different type of appreciation that you didn't get in America?
In general, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, generally, yes. First is I understood what people, I was working for investors usually. And compared to other consultants, I had an easier time because I knew what the engineers and the maintenance managers and the purchasing people, I had been one of them. I asked the right questions. I looked in the right places, and they were helpful. Plus, they knew I was going to find out the answer anyway. Not always. In factories, you were viewed with suspicion. The consultant from the bank is here. Hide everything.
Right.
Among the consultants, it was mixed because
Sure.
The larger firms have templates. Okay, this is our solution. You need reliability, RCM, reliability centered maintenance, in order to be able to clean your toilet bowls. No, you don't. In fact, if you use RCM to clean your toilet bowls, they will usually be filthy. I can go into why that is. RCM, which was around 2017, the T's cure for everything means you don't fix it until it's broken, which means you don't clean your toilet till it's filthy.
Yeah.
No, you clean your toilet when it's clean, because you never know when you're going to get back to it. It may snow.
Right.
No, it was, for me, the main thing was how big was the budget. I had a very sick wife. I had very large medical bills. I put both my sons through college without their needing to take student loans.
Beautiful.
I lived very quietly. I drove an old minivan.
Yeah.
So it was mostly, I did it because I got paid. If I didn't get paid, I wasn't going. In Afghanistan, the pay was a different matter. The pay was, the World Bank paid fairly. The Asian Development Bank and the EU did not.
Yeah.
But it's over. I want it to be over.
Yeah.
And it's Friday night. All right.
Right on, man.
Okay.
Thanks for telling the story.
Well, I'm flattered
Yeah.
that you
Me
would
too.
think it worthy of recording. Will I be able to get a copy?
Absolutely, we'll get you a copy.
Okay.
First, let's go get a Manhattan.
Right.
Thanks, man.
Um,